Everyone, close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. Not just any breath, but one with awareness. Feel the space behind your eyes. Feel the weight of your body in the chair. Feel the energy in the room. That's not just you sitting there. That's intelligence. That's presence. That is the infinite in motion. That is the very essence of God, alive within you. Now open your eyes and listen carefully. The miracle you've been waiting for, it's not lost. It's not delayed. It's not hiding somewhere outside of you. It's not in someone else's hands. It's not locked in time. The miracle you've been praying for is not coming to you from the world. It's coming through you. From God, we've been conditioned to believe that transformation is rare, that healing is difficult, that breakthroughs are earned through suffering. But that is a lie built from limitation. The truth is, when you tune your internal state, your thoughts, your emotions, your energy, to the divine frequency of God, you become the miracle. You're not waiting for the external to change. You're being called to change you. Every time you elevate your emotional state, when you move from fear to love, from doubt to trust, from survival to creation, you begin to signal a new future into existence. You are literally changing your biology. You are rewiring your brain. You are shifting the electromagnetic field of your heart. And guess what? God meets you in that shift. We were not designed to live as victims of circumstance. We were designed to be creators in partnership with the divine. God does not withhold miracles. We simply block them with the resonance of disbelief, with emotional addiction to the past, with patterns that keep us anchored to what was instead of opening to what can be. But when you step into alignment, when you tune the instrument of your being to gratitude, to surrender, to elevated emotion, you become an open vessel. The frequency of heaven flows through you, and in that field, anything is possible. I've seen it, people cured of chronic disease, depression lifted in a moment, finances restored, relationships healed, not by chance, but by coherence with divine intelligence. Because when we align with God, not in word, but in emotion, in energy, in belief, we move into the realm where time bends, where possibilities multiply, and where miracles are natural. You see, the miracle isn't just coming from God. The miracle is God, moving as you, through you, within you, and that shift. It begins now. So I ask you this. Are you ready to stop rehearsing the past and start rehearsing the future God has already prepared for you? Are you ready to feel the gratitude for the miracle before it happens? Because that's the secret. Feel it now, believe it now, be it now. When you stop waiting and start embodying, the veil lifts, and what you thought was impossible becomes inevitable. The miracle you've been waiting for is not on the way. It's already here. God is here and God moves when you do. The miracle is not outside you, it flows through you from God. This is not a metaphor or poetic idea. It's a truth rooted in both spiritual law and observable human experience. For too long, we've been trained to look outside of ourselves for salvation, healing, abundance, and breakthrough. We wait for a moment, a person, an event to come and change everything. But what if the moment doesn't arrive until you shift internally? What if the person is you? What if the miracle you've been praying for is already seated within your very being, waiting for your awareness to activate it? God's intelligence is not distant or removed. It animates every cell of your body, it breathes you, it beats your heart. That divine intelligence is not only aware of your desire, it is your desire, translated into the language of consciousness. When we understand that, we stop chasing and begin aligning. We stop looking for signs and become the signal. The frequency of a miracle is not desperation or anxiety. It is clarity, surrender, and faith. And when you shift into that elevated state, you don't attract the miracle. You reveal it. You allow it to emerge through you because now you are in vibrational harmony with it. This is why inner work isn't just self-help, it's divine preparation. When you quiet your mind, when you tune your heart to gratitude, when you dissolve fear and create coherence between your brain and your heart, you become the space through which God expresses the miraculous. You're not convincing God to do something for you. You're removing the blocks that prevent you from receiving what has always been yours. The miracle doesn't come from the outside world. It flows from the divine through the inner world you choose to cultivate. Your internal state creates your external reality. This is not just spiritual wisdom. It's a principle backed by neuroscience and quantum theory. Every thought you think and every emotion you feel generates a specific frequency. That frequency is a signal, and the world around you responds to that signal in kind. If your inner world is filled with lack, fear, and anxiety, then you unconsciously tune yourself to outcomes that mirror those emotions. Life seems hard, resistant, and unpredictable. But when you begin to consciously elevate your internal state, when you choose thoughts of possibility, gratitude, and trust, you shift your frequency, and life begins to respond with coherence and alignment. The heart and brain are powerful electromagnetic centers. When they are in sync, what science calls coherence, you broadcast a stable, powerful signal into the quantum field. That field is not just theoretical. It's the invisible matrix that holds the blueprint of your life. When you stay in a reactive state, constantly rehearsing old emotions and past traumas, you keep broadcasting signals that recreate the past over and over again. But when you step into intentional creation, when you begin to feel the emotions of your future before it arrives, you send out a new signal, and the quantum field begins to organize itself to reflect that new intention. The shift doesn't happen by force. It happens by awareness. By becoming mindful of your habitual thoughts and emotional patterns, you start to take back creative control. The more time you spend emotionally living in the reality you want to experience, the more you teach your body to believe it's already true. And when the body believes, it stops waiting for proof and starts generating transformation from the inside out. Your internal state is not a reaction to the world. It's the code that writes the world around you. God meets you in your shift toward love, trust, and surrender. Divine intelligence is not activated by effort, struggle, or control. It is revealed through openness, receptivity, and alignment. When you release the need to predict how everything will unfold, when you step out of the survival mind that demands certainty, and instead move into a space of trust, something profound begins to happen. You start to match the vibrational nature of God, not in words, but in frequency. And that frequency is love. That frequency is surrender. That frequency is a quiet confidence that everything is already known, already held, already supported. Love is not just an emotion, it's a state of being. Trust is not just belief, it's a vibration. Surrender is not giving up. It's letting go of resistance so something greater can move through you. When you live in that space, you become available to divine intervention. You no longer block the flow with fear or impatience. You become a clear channel through which miracles can naturally express themselves. God doesn't need to be persuaded. The divine simply requires resonance. And when your heart aligns with the higher frequencies of love and trust, you become magnetically aligned with outcomes that reflect those inner states. The universe is responsive. It mirrors the energy you embody. If you walk through life guarded, skeptical, and hardened by the past, you'll find life echoing that back to you. But the moment you soften, when you choose compassion over criticism, faith over fear, gratitude over grasping, you send out a new message: I am ready. I am aligned. I am open. And it is in this openness that divine intelligence meets you, not because you've earned it, but because you've matched it. The moment you shift, the frequency of God begins to interact with your reality in ways you cannot predict, but can absolutely trust. Miracles are a natural result of divine alignment. They are not rare events reserved for the chosen few. They are the inevitable outcome when your inner world comes into resonance with the higher intelligence of the universe. Alignment is not about perfection. It's about coherence, bringing your thoughts, emotions, and intentions into harmony with the frequency of God. When that alignment happens, what appears supernatural to the logical mind becomes natural to the awakened heart. The miraculous is not a break in the laws of nature. It is the deeper law of the divine revealing itself through you. Most people live in contradiction. They pray for change but think thoughts of doubt. They hope for healing but carry stress, resentment, or fear in their body. That dissonance creates static in the signal. But when you consciously choose elevated states like gratitude, love, compassion, and joy, you move into coherence. Your heart and brain begin to work together, and your energy field becomes ordered and strong. This is the environment in which miracles thrive, not through force but through frequency. You don't chase miracles. You become the version of yourself who naturally receives them. Divine alignment is a state of receptivity. It means you've stepped out of resistance and into trust. It means your identity is no longer shaped by limitation, but by divine potential. The more you align, the more you attract not just what you want, but what you were designed to receive. The miracle is not given to validate your worth. It's drawn to the frequency of your being. It recognizes itself in you. It flows through the path of least resistance, and that path is a soul in alignment. When your inner state matches the truth of who you are in the eyes of God, the miraculous becomes inevitable. You are not a victim. You are a creator in partnership with God. This truth requires a radical shift in perception. It means moving from blame to responsibility, from reaction to intention, from helplessness to divine co-creation. Being a creator doesn't mean you control every detail of life. It means you influence the outcomes by the energy you carry, the choices you make, and the alignment you cultivate. God is not distant, watching from above. God is within you, expressing through your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. The moment you claim this partnership, you step into your true spiritual authority. Victimhood is a state of disconnection. It is rooted in the belief that life is happening to you, that you are at the mercy of circumstances, people, or fate. But the deeper truth is that your energy is interacting with the field of life at all times. You are never passive, even when you feel stuck. Every thought you entertain and every emotion you nurture is a signal sent into the quantum field. That signal draws experiences that reflect the inner world you've agreed to inhabit. When you shift your identity from victim to creator, you no longer wait. You begin to design. This doesn't mean ignoring pain or pretending life is always easy. It means recognizing that even in difficulty, you have power. You can choose how to respond. You can choose what to believe. You can choose who you become. When you align your energy with divine intelligence, when you surrender fear and embody trust, you become a living expression of what God can do through a willing soul. Creation is not about controlling outcomes. It's about aligning with the divine pattern already woven into your spirit. From that space, you don't need to chase miracles because your life begins to reflect them gratitude before the outcome opens the door to the miracle. Most people wait for something to happen before they feel thankful. They wait for the healing, the breakthrough, the confirmation before allowing their hearts to soften in gratitude. But this is backwards. True transformation begins when you can feel the emotion of the answered prayer before it shows up in your physical reality. Gratitude is not just a reaction. It is a frequency, a signal sent into the field that says, "I trust it's already done." When you embody that trust, you align with the creative intelligence of God in a way that collapses time and invites the miraculous. Gratitude is proof of faith. It says you're no longer trying to make something happen. You know it already has in the unseen. That knowing doesn't live in your intellect. It lives in your heart, in your nervous system, in your emotional state. When you give thanks ahead of time, you shift out of survival mode and into creation. You are no longer waiting for life to convince you. You are becoming the evidence of the miracle now. That energy draws to you the experience that matches the frequency you've chosen. The body learns through repetition and emotion. When you rehearse gratitude daily, when you allow your heart to expand with thankfulness for the future as though it's already here, you begin to rewire your brain, recondition your body, and shift your energy field. This creates coherence between your heart and mind, your spirit and body. In that state, the separation between you and the outcome dissolves. You're not asking anymore. You're receiving. You're not hoping from a distance. You're living in the fulfillment of the promise before it touches the visible world. Gratitude becomes the bridge between the unseen and the seen. Changing your energy changes your destiny. Most people try to change their lives by working harder, controlling external conditions, or fixing what they can see. But real transformation begins with a shift in energy, because energy is the root of all manifestation. Every thought you think and every emotion you feel produces a measurable electromagnetic field. That field broadcasts who you are into the world around you. It speaks to the quantum realm, and that realm responds not to your wishes or words, but to the frequency you consistently emit. When you change that frequency, you change what you attract and allow. Energy is not abstract or mystical. It is the invisible architecture of your life. Your energy tells the story of your beliefs, your expectations, your alignment. If you live in the energy of fear, doubt, or unworthiness, the doors that open for you will reflect that state. Not because you are being punished, but because the world around you is simply mirroring what you hold within. But when you begin to embody elevated emotions like joy, trust, gratitude, and love, without needing a reason, you send out a new signal, and that signal creates new pathways, new relationships, and new outcomes. The shift in destiny begins when you stop reacting and start creating from a higher energetic state. You don't wait for the miracle to feel better. You feel better to allow the miracle. This is the essence of spiritual maturity, choosing the energy of your future regardless of the conditions of your present. When you maintain that elevated frequency, even in the face of uncertainty, you show the universe that your internal state is no longer determined by circumstances. You become the cause, not the effect, and in doing so, you realign with a destiny that reflects your divine design. The body responds to the emotions you rehearse. Every emotion you feel triggers a cascade of chemical reactions in your body. These reactions are not just fleeting. They shape your biology, your nervous system, your brain circuitry, and even your gene expression. When you repeatedly feel stress, fear, anger, or sadness, your body becomes conditioned to those states. It memorizes them. Over time, those emotions become your default, not because life keeps presenting the same challenges, but because your body has been trained to expect and recreate them. You are not just thinking about the past, you are living in it physiologically. Most people wake up and immediately begin to feel the same thoughts and emotions they did yesterday. Without realizing it, they are rehearsing their past into the present. Their body wakes up in survival mode, scanning for danger, preparing for stress. This creates a cycle where your body leads your mind and your future becomes just another version of your past. But when you intentionally rehearse elevated emotions, like gratitude, peace, joy, compassion, you begin to train your body to feel a new future. You are no longer addicted to the chemical signatures of limitation. You are creating a new internal environment that invites healing, clarity, and transformation. This is why emotional rehearsal is so powerful. When you consistently practice feeling the emotions of your desired future, your body doesn't know the difference between the experience and the memory. It begins to believe the future is already happening. This changes your brainwaves, your hormonal output, your immune function, and your overall state of being. The body, which once lived in reaction to the past, now begins to live in anticipation of the future. And as your internal state shifts, the world around you begins to rearrange itself in response. Miracles aren't earned. They are allowed. This is a profound truth that shifts the entire way we approach life and transformation. Many believe that miracles come as rewards for hard work, suffering, or deservingness. They think they must prove themselves worthy through struggle or sacrifice. But the divine doesn't operate on a system of earning or merit. Miracles flow freely when you remove the blocks within, blocks of resistance, doubt, and fear, that prevent the natural flow of grace. The moment you open yourself to receive without conditions, without judgment, without hesitation, you step into a space where miracles become possible. Allowing is an act of surrender, not passivity. It's a conscious choice to stop pushing against the current and to flow with the river of divine intelligence. It means letting go of control and trusting that the miracle is already in motion, even if you cannot yet see it. When you resist, you create friction, and that friction slows or stops the flow. But when you allow, you become a vessel through which the miraculous can express itself. You don't force miracles. You create the energetic environment where they can naturally unfold. This permission to receive is often blocked by beliefs rooted in scarcity, unworthiness, or fear of change. We tell ourselves we must earn, prove, or wait for the right time. But the truth is that the right time is now. The divine wants you to experience wholeness, healing, and abundance as your natural state. The moment you relax into that truth, miracles cease to be extraordinary events and instead become the natural rhythm of your existence. They are the result of opening, allowing, and trusting the flow of divine grace without resistance. The miracle isn't coming, it's already here, waiting for your alignment. Many people live in a state of constant anticipation, believing that their breakthrough or blessing is somewhere in the future, just out of reach. This mindset creates separation between you and the miracle because you are positioning it as something external, separate from who you are right now. But the truth is far more empowering. The miracle exists now, present in the unseen dimensions of your being, and it only requires your energetic alignment to become visible in your life. Time, as we experience it, is a linear construct, but consciousness transcends linear time. When you shift your focus from waiting to aligning, you collapse the distance between you and what you desire. You don't have to chase the miracle or search for signs. Instead, you become a vibrational match to it. The unseen realm responds to your internal coherence, your elevated state of mind and heart, not to your external circumstances or demands. This means the miracle is already in motion, woven into the fabric of your reality, but it can only materialize when your inner state is ready to receive it. Alignment involves clearing resistance, releasing old beliefs, and embodying the emotions of the future as if they are already real. When you do this, you synchronize your entire being, mind, body, and spirit, with the frequency of the miracle. This coherence opens the channels for divine intelligence to flow unhindered. You move from a place of waiting, hoping, and doubting to a place of knowing, allowing, and receiving. The miracle, then, is not a distant event on a timeline. It is the natural expression of a being living in harmony with the creative power of God. Once you align internally, what was once invisible becomes undeniable.